For the last 4 years, I've been able to make hundreds of dollars a day selling Bitcoin to people, peer to peer, one at a time. I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing and work when you want, where you want, and there is no way for people to bother you when your trades aren't on. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions how to quickly make your own account and set up individual offers. I've made a lot of mistakes over the last few years because I've taught myself everything. I have 2 college degrees, but because blockchain technology and economies are so new, you can't learn in school what I do. Most people know how valuable this information is, and they will not give it away for free. I'm going to share and show my profits, my experiences, and my knowledge with you, so you can learn the same things without making the same mistakes. Today, for episode 3, I'm going to cover a payment type that I call instant P2P transfers. This is an advanced level trade and does carry a risk of loss if you're not careful. If you have not watched episode 1 and episode 2, I highly recommend you do that first, but I will start from the beginning and teach you everything. So, what you see here is just one day of trading, but it's actually only 20 minutes. And in that 20 minutes, I sold $1,200 worth of Bitcoin. And when utilizing these payment method types, selling $1,200 worth of Bitcoin makes me and will make you about 11% profit when everything is all said and done and you're reinvesting, accounting for fees that you're not going to see here. So, as you can see, in 4 minutes, I sold $1,000. Let's look at these 2 trades here. So you can see, some people are annoying. I gave this guy $440 worth of Bitcoin for $500 into my Apple Pay cash account, which is immediately spendable and available to send to your bank account for a 1% fee. This trade was started at 3:48, and by 3:56, it was completed. I had the $500 with a $60 profit in my Apple Pay cash account, and at the same time, and I do this with you, do this with your thumb, in bed, in class, at work, in the bathroom, driving, safely, wherever. Now let's look at this other trade that was happening at the same time. I made another $60. So from 3:52 so in 8 minutes, I made $60 here, simultaneously making another $60 here, and like the other 2 trades here. So I made $150 in 20 minutes. Can you do that? The answer is yes, because I'm about to show you how. The technical name for what I do is vending Bitcoin. Usually when you hear someone say that they sell Bitcoin, they're selling it against the market price, and it's dependent on the value of crypto going up for them to make any money. In this situation, that is not the case. You are buying and selling Bitcoin in unconventional payment methods and charging a markup for that service. You are serving people one at a time, just like a brick and mortar store, but they are coming to you over the internet. Today, for episode 3, I'm going to cover 5 intermediate level trades I call instant P2P payments. Over time, a lot of P2P payments have come and gone, but the principles remain the same. They utilize point of sale technology, usually, which requires a true debit card. This means a real bank account, not a prepaid debit card, not a credit card, a real bank account. It can be an online bank account sometimes, but not always. And it will use POS or point of sale technology to instantly deposit those funds into your bank, which means under no circumstance should you ever release Bitcoin before you have these payments. I'm going to go over each one specifically, but the principles remain the same. There is a huge disclaimer here. This is likely against the terms of service of any money send payment app that ever comes out. To receive money for digital currency or even business in any way is likely against the terms of service. So I'm not a financial expert. I'm not an expert in the law, but I am an expert on how to do these trades. So I will tell you how it's done and how people do it, but I have to say it's for educational purposes only, and never, ever trade outside of Paxful, because you will be unprotected in 2 different ways. One is you won't have the escrow protection, the moderator protection that goes with that. And 2, there's some legalities with the privileges that they have and you don't. These instant P2P trades allow you to immediately reinvest your money, giving you an opportunity for compounding profits. Now, this does carry a risk of loss without taking proper precautions, but I'm going to teach you exactly how to avoid this risk with each offer I'm going to cover. I'm going to show you 5 separate payment methods, and this is a lower profit margin than the methods I've talked about before, but because it's instant, if you compare compounding profits to raising a profit margin over the course of time, you will see a drastic increase in compounding profits. Einstein actually called it the 8th wonder of the world, and those who don't understand it pay it, and those of us who do earn it. If you already have a Paxful account, go ahead and skip ahead, but if you don't know, I do give free coaching to my affiliates, and the affiliate dashboard allows me to keep track of your sales, whether or not you're verified, how much you're selling, and I don't charge people anything, and it is the most rewarding thing that I've ever been a part of because it's performance-based pay, and I get to teach you everything that I can, and if I do a good job, we both make money, and it's at no cost to you. But if you don't have a Paxful account, click the link in the top of the description, sign up, verify your email, verify your phone, your ID. In order to post a trade, you have to be verified now. You can go to other people's offers to sell Bitcoin, but I do not ever recommend doing that because when you do, it's under their terms and not yours. In order to post any trade, you have to have a 0.05 security deposit. Anything over that 0.05 BTC security deposit is able to be sold. For gift card sales, you need an additional 0.1 Bitcoin bond, which is retrievable 7 days after your last gift card trade, but that's not applicable to what I'm going over today. To set up an offer, go to your dashboard, either vendor or classic. You must be verified in order to make your own offer. Step 1, when creating an offer, hit the sell Bitcoin button for every time you want to sell Bitcoin. You need a separate offer for every payment method you have, and you can choose which to have on and which to have off at any time of the day. Start typing the payment methods you want, and it will, if you start typing Apple, it will finish, all the possible payment methods that include Apple, which are Apple Pay, Apple Store gift cards, and Applebee's restaurant gift cards. Click Apple Pay for our first payment method, which is Apple Pay. Step 2 in creating an offer is the most important part. This is where you dictate your profit. If you choose a profit of, say, 55% here, that means if you have $100 in Bitcoin, it takes $155 for the buyer to get that Bitcoin via whatever payment method the offer is for. For P2P transfers, I recommend a profit of 10 to 25% depending on if you require ID or not. For Apple Pay, I actually do not suggest that you require ID. For trade limits, this is the amount of dollars that they are allowed to open a trade for. The minimum I suggest is whatever is worth your time, $10, $25. The maximum, I actually suggest you don't go over $500 unless you have like an aged Apple Pay account, because I've seen payments of $500 be like delayed. And if you have a pending payment or a delayed payment ever under any circumstance for any trade, never release Bitcoin until you have that fucking money. Any payment that's pending can usually be canceled. And you can put that in your terms. It doesn't make you look like a bad vendor. Paxful is definitely not going to look down on you. All you have to do is upload a screenshot showing whatever payment is pending, and you have nothing to worry about. The escrow service serves a point. The moderators will not fail you. They've literally never failed me. I've never been ripped off on Paxful. By Paxful, I've been ripped off by bad people. But that's why I'm here, to help you to prevent that. And we are definitely going to go over some common scams to look out for every specific payment method. Time limit, I always suggest the lowest possible, unless you're using like Western Union or something, 30 minutes. Step 3 in creating an offer, you get to choose a tag. The tag is a word bank of possible terms to choose from that buyers and vendors recognize across Paxful. The offer label is a bank of text that allows you to freely type anything you can come up with. So for tags, you're going to see very common things. There's only like 20 possible things it could be. Receipt required, no receipt required. Online payments, virtual cards only, physical cards only, no verification needed, things like that. For P2P payments, the most important thing is, do you or don't you require ID? For Apple Pay, it's not going to do you any good to require ID, but you can require that the Paxful account has verified their ID with Paxful, just so you know that that user is a little bit more trustworthy than someone who hasn't. But the payment that you're receiving, you are not going to be able to associate with anyone's driver's license, so it's really not going to do you any good. And if you require ID, you're going to have to charge a lower fee because you're a pain in the ass. So you're going to have to be cheaper. So if you're easier and don't require ID, you can make more money, but it's a little bit riskier. Definitely with other payment types. Apple Pay has always been pretty secure in my experience. I've lost an Apple Pay account twice, and in both experiences, I lost my iPhone, put my iPhone in lost mode, and when you do that, it suspends Apple Pay, and then when you reinstate it, I feel like maybe someone manually reviews your transactions to see if there's any fraud. And for me, I was getting $10,000 a week in Apple Pay because that's the max. And I think someone just saw that and realized it was likely business activity and just locked my account. I never lost any money, but my account is definitely locked, and it will probably happen to you if you do this long term. But in the meantime, you at least make money. So if Apple Pay cash is very important to you, I don't suggest doing this. I'm also going to go over Facebook Messenger Pay, which affects Facebook ads and Instagram ads, which I've lost and had reinstated. Going to go over Zelle, which I've lost 10 times. Cash App, which I've lost 5 times. And Google Pay, which I've lost 10 times. The offer terms at the bottom of step 3 are what buyers see before committing to buying your trade. This is your advertisement when they click on it, but do not yet commit. Once they click buy and have committed, they then see the instructions. For me, for all my trades, my terms and instructions are just the same. And for each payment type, they're going to be different. When your offer is complete, which I will show you how to set up all of them right after this, turn it on and you wait for a sale. When you get a sale or a trade, you have a visual and a sound notification. You can also turn on text, so it texts you, text me. I love that. If you're not getting any trades, that means the competition is selling cheaper than you. And this is observable. If you go to like buy Bitcoin and you select the payment method type that you are selling, you can observe your offer next to all of the other vendors' offers. So for instance, we're going to go over Apple Pay first. So let's take a look at the current Apple Pay offers and the rates and the verification required. So you see some very low here, like 5%, and 15 is about as low as it ever really gets. But this 5% trade it's a very new user and it's a very low amount. So it's either a temporary situation or it's some kind of situation where he's trying to like trying to meet people and be like, hey, just, meet me here and then buy Bitcoin from me off Paxful, and probably try to rip them off. You definitely never want to sell outside of Paxful, like I mentioned earlier. So as you can see, the cheapest it gets is about 15%. You can see photo ID required at 20%. So if you know verification required, you can charge more at like 25%. Honestly, like I said, for Apple Pay specifically, I just don't really think ID is going to do you any good. Now, let's go over exactly how to be safe with Apple Pay. This is what my Apple Pay trade looks like, and I think you should set up all your trades just like mine to start and then adjust accordingly. If you're getting hit with a lot of trades, up your rate. If you're not getting trades, lower it. Basic supply and demand. I have mine 50 to 500 because I've noticed payments over 500 can be delayed. I do 20%, no ID required, minimum time. The most important thing with all P2P payment methods are you want to make sure the person sending you money is the same human that you're talking to on Paxful. Because this person on Paxful can do something shady like make a Craigslist offer and say, hey, I got Chris Brown tickets, just pay me via Apple Pay. And then they contact him and say, hey, here's $300. What Apple Pay do I send it to? Then this guy opens a trade with you for $300 worth of Bitcoin, has this guy trying to buy Chris Brown tickets, sends you $300 worth of Apple Pay, you get $300, give middleman Bitcoin, and he just disappears. He never had fucking tickets. So now this guy trying to go to a Chris Brown concert is asking you where the tickets are, and you're like, what are you talking about? So here is how you mitigate that. At least for me, I will have buyers text me the trade ID. Apple Pay takes place over texting. You need an iPhone. You can have an iCloud email on a MacBook and an iPad, I think. But every Paxful trade has a trade ID. For instance, right here. So I said, hey, just text a trade ID to my number. The trade ID is dictated by Paxful. So this isn't a guaranteed safety, but if someone is texting you this trade ID, sometimes if I use my best judgment and if I am suspicious, I will take a screenshot of this chat, text it to the person about to pay me and say, hey, is this you? Just to make sure they know, just to make sure there's no issues. It hasn't been 100% fail proof, but it's been over 90. Totally worth doing. And if someone does text you a trade ID and is still not buying Bitcoin, you can make them feel retarded enough that they don't try to get their money back. Other things to point out with Apple Pay is do not put your phone in lost mode if you're getting, Apple Pay payments every week, because I don't know, but I think based on 2 experiences I've had, I've put my phone in lost mode, which suspends your Apple Pay. And when I found my phone or whatever, my Apple Pay cash was suspended after. I feel like they probably manually review, looking for fraud. Like they probably have a human with their eyes, look. And when they see someone like me getting $10,000 a week, which is the weekly max receive limit, they lock your account. They don't steal money from you. Any money in your balance, they will let you still spend or send to your bank account. So anyways, you have a $10,000 a week limit on what you can receive. That's going to be about $1,100 a week with your thumb in the dark, in bed, in class, driving, wherever the hell you want. You can send it to your bank account for no fee. And I've noticed if you start the transmission to your bank account before noon Eastern time, you get it in your bank account 5 p.m. that day. If you start it afternoon Eastern time, you'll get it in your bank account the next business day for free. Or you can instantly transfer to your debit card for a 1% fee, which I really just don't recommend doing, because one business day, you can even have it that night if you do it early enough. The coolest, I haven't done this personally, but okay, the coolest situation with Apple Pay is that you can pay your Apple Pay credit card balance with Apple Pay cash. So if you get an Apple Pay credit card, which I don't know much about, but if you have one and you buy Bitcoin with it, send that to Paxful, take Apple Pay cash trades. You can pay your Apple Pay credit card bill with your freaking Apple Pay cash balance. That's just too easy. I don't know how long it'll work, but that's awesome. And I know there's some rewards with Apple Pay card too. If anyone does this successfully, please email me and tell me. Next, we're going to go over Google Pay. I recommend a buying limit of $25 to $500 again, because I've seen payments pending over $500. And if you plan on doing Google Pay long term, I actually do suggest that you require ID. If you don't require ID, it'll be easier and you can make more money, but it's probably just a matter of time until you get a chargeback. So it just depends on your situation. If Google Pay is important to you, definitely require ID. Time limit, if you require ID, maybe 15%. If you don't, 25. Time limit 30. For my trade instructions, I just say, say hi and I'll give you the email to send to. Your ID must be verified with Paxful, and the name sending must match your Paxful ID, which when someone opens a trade with you and their ID verified, you can see in their details what their true name is. So if you get a payment and that true name doesn't match, then there's a problem, and you can either refund it or handle that however you want. If you can use a debit card and a bank account with Google Pay. Debit cards are instant. So as a seller, you want to connect a debit card to your Google Pay account, so anytime your Google Pay receives a payment, instantly it sends it without it's completely automated. It requires no action from you. That payment goes into your bank account. And as with all P2P trades, under no circumstance do you release Bitcoin until that money is in your bank account. Any pending payment can be canceled. And if you have a buyer with a pending payment who's impatient, they have to contact Google support and validate it, push it through. But doing that over and over multiple times a week with multiple people kind of raises attention to your account. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend it long term if you can avoid it. So Google Pay, the reason you want to check ID is to avoid chargebacks, avoid fraud. If there is fraud or a chargeback, it's what I call a soft chargeback, which means it'll make your account go negative, but it won't try to collect and it won't charge your debit card or your bank account on file ever. So if you have a negative account and you make a new one, once you receive $500 with any Google Pay account, it will ask you to verify your ID. So if you have one negative account and you make another one, they will catch on eventually, but you can do this like over and over a little bit. But I mean, to avoid fraud and just do the right thing, I would require ID. There is a $10,000 max reception limit as with Apple Pay, but you can charge a little bit more with Google, so you might make something like $2,000 a week. And I mean, these trades are so easy. You don't even need a computer. You can do this from your phone. I did. I used to wake up at like 5 in the morning before school, before class, and I would trade Apple Pay just in bed with and sometimes, I would use, from my freaking thumb, from one finger, I was making $50,000 a year. And that wasn't all I was doing, but this thumb made me $50,000 a year last fall. Plus, and it's going to do that for you too. So here's a like 4-year-old Google Pay account I've had that's negative, and I mean, never bothered me. And yeah, you can see, it's been since 2018, and this is like, I use this account all the time. So not too much risk with Google Pay, but if you rely on it or you need it, check ID. Next, I'm going to go over Zelle, which may be the most dangerous to use. Zelle has formed from Chase QuickPay, which has been started by Early Warning Services, which is owned by JP Morgan, which didn't like Bitcoin to begin with, but has recently changed their mind on that. Zelle, again, as with all P2P payment methods, you want to make sure the person sending you money is the person that you're actually talking to on Paxful. You want to avoid those third-party scams that I mentioned with Apple Pay. So in order to mitigate this, I do things like make sure the payment are sent with memos like the trade ID in Paxful. But one thing that's difficult with Zelle is you can get payments and you can't see the name of the person sending it to you. Sometimes you can only see the email address that sends it to you. So I would absolutely require ID being verified with Paxful before opening this. And then you can also do things like tell people to screenshot their bank account with their name in it, you know, maybe not like their bank account numbers or anything, but just whatever makes you feel safe. Often vendors like me will do this the first time with buyers. We'll have them give us their ID and maybe a handwritten note, something that proves that this person just did this just now, just for me only. I can trust them after this point. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, I'll give you suggestions. I'm not going to give you all my secrets, but if you are my affiliate, it's in my best interest too. So here's my Zelle trade, same dollar amounts, 10 to 500. If you check ID, I would do 15%. If you don't check ID, 25%. The most important thing about Zelle trades, anything from this is the most important message in this entire freaking video. Only use the Zelle app. Do not take Zelle trades with a bank account that is partnered with Zelle. You can find out if yours is by going to zellepay.com. It's going to give you a list of all of their banks. So the reason you want to do this is because if you have a bank account like Chase or any of these banks that are partnered with Zelle, which is almost all of them these days, it is possible to receive a hard chargeback, which means someone can reverse a payment and they will take that money out of your account without your permission. And if that happens, which has happened to me over 5 times, if it happens twice, that bank account gets closed. They will close that bank account. And I mean, I've had all the best bank accounts you can have, you know, veteran bank accounts, premium plus interest-bearing checking accounts. And when you get bank accounts closed, no matter how rich you are, like, it's hard to open bank accounts after that. So the most important piece of information in this video, do not take Zelle payments into a Zelle account that is partnered with Zelle from payments for anything about this video. Only use the Zelle app and connect a true debit card that is connected to a bank account that is not on this list. You're gonna have to get creative sometimes, I mean, because the list gets bigger every year. So like credit unions, local banks, maybe online, like, you know, there's a lot of online app accounts that aren't brick and mortar banks, like Simple and what's that called? Damn it. I can't think of the bank that I used to have that I just used for Google and Zelle every day, and I would go use that debit. It had a $500 ATM limit, but I would go make money orders with it for like $2,000. And it was too easy. Facebook Messenger payments. This is a fun one. This is a cool one. Okay, so as always, make sure the person paying you is the person that you're actually talking to on Paxful. With Facebook, this is really easy because it's their freaking Facebook. Okay, their name and their picture's right there. You're not retarded. You know if it's a fake Facebook profile, if it's just been made, or if it's someone's real profile connected to their family members and all that. So one cool thing about Facebook Messenger payments is it actually accepts PayPal. And because of that, it accepts credit cards. So this is one of 2 payment methods today that take credit cards. The other 3 do not. It also accepts PayPal, which means if you're taking Facebook Messenger payments, you can also create an offer on Paxful for any credit debit card, and in your terms put via Facebook Messenger payment. Now this is going to piss some people off, but if you have it in your terms and they miss that, like, you know, I've done that before. You can put any credit or debit card trade, and you can give them a choice saying you can use Cash App, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Facebook Messenger payments, these are the ways you can use your credit card to pay me. Facebook Messenger payments are nice because their name is right there. You can tell if it's a real profile. And it's instant. Let me just show you how much I use Facebook Messenger payment. And not even for business, just like thousands of dollars. So, I mean, here you can see like one of my friends. This isn't anything related to Paxful. It's actually a clothing business. I mean, you see it like, look, this guy sent me $2,500. This is not for Bitcoin, and it was instant. I didn't even know he sent it to me. It took no action on my part. He put $2,500 into my bank account without my permission. How cool is that? You're welcome. So with Facebook Messenger payments alone, you can make the trade for Facebook Messenger payments specifically. You can make any credit or debit card trade, which in your terms and offer, you can give people the option to use anything that you accept. Google Pay, Apple Pay, Facebook Messenger payment, invoicing if you do that, which I'm not going to teach you how to do today. Cash App, which we're going to get to next. PayPal via Facebook Messenger payment. Other than Facebook, I, under no circumstance, recommend taking direct payments with PayPal or Venmo ever. Venmo was the first thing that ever closed my account. It's too easy. It's just a guaranteed loss. So I saved the best for last. Cash App. This is the Square Cash app that's owned by Square. It allows you to send money to your friends. It also allows you to have a business account and accept business payments for a 3% fee. It takes debit cards, credit cards, bank accounts, and Bitcoin. The coolest thing about Cash App is that in the USA, it's actually the best place to buy Bitcoin with a debit card because there's almost no fee. As always with P2P payments, you want to make sure the person sending you money is the same person that you're talking to on Paxful. You can do this via the memo IDs and the payments that you get. You can require it to be a specific thing, such as that trade ID that's dictated by Paxful. I recommend, as with all these P2P trades, $25 to $500. If you check ID, maybe 15%. If you don't check ID, 25%. With Cash App, you can see the name of the person sending a payment, so you can put in your terms the payment profile on Square must match your Paxful user ID. And as I mentioned before, anyone who's verified their ID with Paxful and opens a trade with you, if you hit the details on the top right of the trade, you can see their name. I remember the last time I was doing Cash App was mostly like in the hot tub at my gym after workouts. iPhones are waterproof. I mean, that's how easy this is. The P2P payments, as opposed to gift cards, like you don't need a computer, you can easily do on your phone. I mean, before I'd even stand up for the day, from like 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., I can make hundreds of dollars a day before I literally stand up, before the sun's even up. This is before school as a college student. If you're smart enough to follow along this far, you're smart enough to make hundreds of dollars a week just with the information I've given you in this video alone. But as I said before, please watch episode 1 and 2 also. So this is the last time I did Cash App. Let's just take a look at some of these trades. Let me find a decent size one, maybe $300. August 7th, last fall. So $300 with my thumb for sure. So I made $40. I gave him $260 worth of Bitcoin for $300 in my Cash App in 6:08 to 4 minutes. $10 a minute with my thumb. What do you do for money? Or I guess I should say, what did you do for money? I don't give people financial advice, but one suggestion I definitely have is don't replace your income with this. Just add it. Add this to your income. Anyone can do this, regardless of who you are or what you do. In class, at work sometimes if it's safe or whatever. I highly suggest that you have an income source to work with and use this as a side hustle. You can turn it on and off whenever you want. That's the best part about it. All right, let's get to the juicy stuff, the profit breakdown and reinvesting example. This is where most people are shady and don't tell you everything, but not OSU Limitless. I show you everything. So we're going to go over the profit that you get initially, but then we're going to talk about what it costs to buy Bitcoin again and what your profit really fucking is. All right. It's about 13%, maybe 11 or 28. Pay attention. So let's say you have $1,000 in Bitcoin and you sell at a markup of 20%. Okay. Paxful keeps 1%, which means you get a profit of 19. So your $1,000 of Bitcoin is going to get you $11.90 into your payment wallet. So then you have $11.90 in that payment wallet, like let's say Apple Pay. But then you want to send it to your bank account instantly, which charges you a 1% fee. Well, that $11.90 is going to turn into $11.78 immediately into your bank account, which is immediately available to buy Bitcoin again and sell twice in one day, compounding your profit, which if you do that by buying Bitcoin for the average price of like 4%, and that is if you don't get a foreign transaction fee. If you do get a foreign transaction fee, that'll be another 3% on top of that 4%. So it'll be 0.96 times 0.97, not 0.93. You have to times the 4% and then times that 3% foreign transaction fee. Just forget I said that. So if you buy Bitcoin with a 4% debit card fee, you're going to drop your profit from 19 to 17.8 after that 1% instant transfer fee. And then it drops to 13% after a 4% debit card fee. But if you do this twice in one day, that 13% profit actually turns into 28% because you're going to take 1.13 compounded twice, and it turns into 28% profit, accounting for all fees. But you can eliminate this 1% fee and this 4% fee. All you have to do, like for Apple Pay, for example, send it via ACH. It'll be there that night if you do it early in the morning, or it'll be there the next business day. You're going to save yourself 1%, and in the long run, it's worth it, unless you are in a super fast hurry and you're trying. If you can compound multiple times a day. If you have to hustle right now, let's say you have $100 and you need to make $2,000 by Friday. I mean, shit. This is a way. Yeah, this is a way. And that's a way where you're going to want to instant transfer to your bank as many times as you can. So if you have a little bit of capital to work with, especially opposed to gift card trades, because gift card trades require that 0.1 bond. These trades don't. It only requires that 0.05 bond, which all trades do. So if you have a little bit of capital, a little bit of money, only $100 or $500, you can start making, if you have $100, you can start making $13 a day, maybe $13 an hour. Shit, I mean, you saw what I did in 4 fucking minutes. You can sell 110. That's $10 an hour, $13 an hour. That's $13 in 10 minutes. While you're at work making other money. If you're my affiliate, message me on Instagram, Facebook. I think I'm going to start a Discord. I have a Discord channel, but I'm going to start a new Discord channel for just affiliates. I thought about Telegram, but the whole Telegram crypto coin situation doesn't seem too promising, and Discord seems a lot more stable. I will help you for no charge to make as much money as possible, because the better job I do at teaching you, the more money we both make, and it's the most rewarding thing I've ever been a part of, and I love it. I love helping people for free. As I said, I've been doing this for 4 years. Payment types always change. You know, this isn't, I've never relied on Paxful as an income. It's always just, sometimes it's not, honestly not even been there at all. because I've exhausted I've thought I exhausted all payment methods. I've definitely been in situations where I wasn't trading because I thought I didn't have a way, but I would at least take prepaid gift cards and pay my bills for like 30% off. And if you haven't watched episode two is about those. Other things, I think my next video in this mini series is either going to be card to card transfers or virtual wallets. Virtual wallets would be things like PayPal, Skrill, UPayCard, Payza, Perfect Money, OKPay, Venmo, kind of. Card to card transfers will be things like Green Dot cards, Walmart Money cards, Rush cards, My Vanilla cards, not One Vanilla. There used to be a card called like Kaiku, NetSpend, FlashPay, Ready Ace Debit. Man, let me just show you. All right, I know there's other people on YouTube who talk about trading on Paxful and everything, and some of those guys are more about talking about it than actually doing it. And there's two big questions I get about like my YouTube channel. One is, why do you give this information away for free? And two, when the fuck are you going to make a new video? Because it's been 9 months and obviously you're doing well. I give this information away for free for two reasons. One is there is an affiliate program, so I get paid based on my performance. If you make money, then I'll make money. Why I have not made a video for 9 months besides being I just graduated college, man, I'm not just talking about this life, like I'm living it. I'm trading every single day. It's not exactly in my best interest to share all this stuff unless I'm going to graduate and kind of not graduate college, but graduate from trading and kind of move on to a YouTube career and a coaching career over trading every day, which I'm doing. It reminds me of, I guess, like being a rapper, because those people will rap about being in a certain lifestyle, but then they get rich and it changes, and then, well, I can't rap about that anymore. But for me, I mean, you can look at my trading history. Let me show you. That's what I'm all about. So if you haven't given me credit already, let me just show you a little bit of what I've been through over the last few years. You can see all these, virtual wallets and like card to cards, bank accounts. Every single one of these has been used and abused to its full extent. So if there is an expert more than me, will you please tell me, because I would love to meet them. So if you're my affiliate, message me over the next month and I'll give you a link to a Discord chat. It's invite only. It will only be invitable by me. I know people have started to hear that I have a Discord chat already, but that is not public. And trust me, those people have paid $1,000 to be in that chat, and it's not an offer anymore. So stop asking. This is a screenshot of what my my vendor dashboard looked at one time, but it doesn't anymore. My suggestion is pick what's best for you and pick what you enjoy. Add what fits into your life. Don't change your life for this. Change this for your life. There's over 330 payment methods. And you're not just flipping Bitcoin. You're affecting people's lives. You're making, this is a peer-to-peer marketplace. You're talking to people one at a time. Be professional. Be trustworthy. Be predictable and dependable. Don't put emotion into your words. Don't let anyone make you mad. I mean, lay out your instructions, and it should be a black and white yes or no. Never be mean. Always tell the truth. Never steal. Definitely never do anything illegal or any type of fraud, and never trade outside of Paxful. If you use my link, please message me, and I'm glad to help you as much as possible. I think my next video will be, in this mini series, will be virtual wallets or card to card transfers. Will you please leave a comment Card-to-card transfers or virtual wallets? Which one do you want to see first? You're welcome.